Tell me a little bit about Flaunt My Lady Jewelry. Okay.
Well, we uniquely design. Our motto is bold, unique, certified chic. So with the statement jewelry, we create things that are designed to stand out to someone or whoever wears it, either men, children, or women.
Okay. So like we was talking about earlier, I'm surprised. I didn't realize you did it for children also. I dug a little bit about your history. So when we get there, we're gonna talk about that even more. How did you come up with your designs?
The designs, it's usually a random process. There are different ways that I come up with my designs. It may come from me being in a jewelry store with jewelry supplies, picking up beads, walking through, and seeing what I think would go with something else. It could be researching designs online and seeing how that I could improve them and make them better and make them more something that Flaunt My Lady Jewelry would do. It is requests from other people. It's what I think would look good on other people. It's different things. And then recently what I've been doing is actually looking at the projected trends from runways across the world to see what is also going on out there and seeing how I can still add my own thing.
Okay. Now, how did you come up with the brand name Flaunt My Lady?
Flaunt My Lady. Just like I said with the motto, bold, unique, certified chic, I wanted a brand where when someone wears the jewelry, that they do feel it does make them want to flaunt, to display what they have on confidently. And for me, it's not even just about the jewelry itself being something that brings that towards somebody. It's more of adding to the awesomeness that somebody already displays or something, or the greatness that they have, the confidence that they have, and adding that on to that. But if somebody is lacking, then definitely that's where we would come in and to fill the gap to add that confidence. But it's definitely meant to create an awe factor or to make sure that when you walk out that people will notice what you have on.
Right. And you hand make your jewelry.
I do. Yes, I do hand make all of my jewelry that you see here and that you'll see on the website and social media as well.
Now, how is that tedious? Is that because you make a lot of beads and stuff? So I'm thinking that's like a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily hard because the creative process itself is very exciting for me. I like to create things, but tedious would be the right word for that because it does take a lot of time, especially if I'm not sure what I want to create up front. It does take a little longer, but when I do have an idea and I go with it, it doesn't take as much time. It's really just the beginning process of what I want to design.
Now, how do you choose what to design? What gives you inspiration to create a certain item?
Well, it really what I think other people would want to see. Sometimes it is what I want to see, but that's how I was in the beginning. I was thinking about what do I want to see, what would I like, but I'm one person. Even though I do think creatively, there are still other aspects of there that's not going to hit on everybody. So I try to bring in things from looking at, what's going on in the fashion world and taking it from there, but also asking around, seeing what's popular, seeing based off the season what would be good, and then going from there.
Wow. So you actually do your homework.
Yeah, I have to. That's a major process with this is research, yes.
There are a lot of jewelry makers out there. Mm-hmm. How do you set yourself apart from other jewelry makers?
How I set myself apart is the experience itself. I have very high expectations in life, especially for myself, and I realize that I do have high expectations for others around me, but going back to myself, what that means with Flaunt My Lady is, especially with the customized services, it's really a very personalized process. And so by the end of it, I'm asking you along the way, from the beads to the research, keeping you involved, taking pictures, showing you, making sure that you have what you want from the beginning until the end. And I make sure that before I give you the product, that you are absolutely in love with it or that you love it and that I've exceeded your expectations, because even when I'm not doing the customized jewelry or I'm doing the pre-made, like some of these things out here, I have to exceed my own expectations or it's not finished. And so I don't finish until I have exceeded either someone else's expectations or my own, and I make sure it's a customized experience, because I never have been the type of person who appreciated somebody just telling me what they thought I wanted to hear. I've always wanted the truth, and so that's how
We talked before. How did this come about? Because you're from Pendleton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pendleton, South Carolina. You went to school in Kentucky, right? And you took up, what was your major? Child
and family studies.
Child and Family Studies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you went to Florida.
I did.
And you took up gerontology, and that's the study of what?
The aging process.
So you went from children to the aging process.
Yeah.
And then you wind up making jewelry.
I did.
Tell me how that came about.
Well, when I went to school, I was. It all goes back to my parents. They were really big on making sure we knew, because my dad's in the military. My mom, she just likes to travel. But they made sure from a young age that we knew that there was more out there than just staying in South Carolina, that there's different states, there's different things you can experience. And so by the time I was in high school, I couldn't wait to get out of South Carolina. And when I left, I didn't come back for 10 years.
10 years.
For 10 years. I came back for about 8 months right before I went to Florida, but I had been gone since that time. And so when I went to Berea, I had found out through a program at high school that they offer free tuition scholarships and a laptop. And I didn't want my parents paying for education, so I went there. Plus, Kentucky, it was not a foreign place to me because my mom's family is from Kentucky, so it wasn't too far from them. So I went there. I wanted to be a nursing major. And I can honestly say I waited till I got hands-on experience before I changed my mind. I went through clinicals, and I was just like, I can't do this, not for a lifetime. So I realized I wanted to help people, and that's what I thought was equivalent to helping people. And then I just realized I want to help people in a different way. So the closest thing that I could still graduate within a short amount of time was Child and Family Studies, because you still have some of the most similar classes. So I did that, and then I've always liked working with older people. Even though I was younger, I was scared of older people. It was something that happened. My mom worked at a nursing home. I was really young. She left me in the room with all these strangers that I didn't know. And it created this fear for me, which as I grew up, I realized it was unjustified. And so when I grew up, I really loved working with older people. And I was like, I think that's what I want to go get my degree in. And when I was in Florida, the whole time I was there, I worked within my field, working with older people. I was a center manager for 2 different centers that started from scratch, started from 0 participants and grew that up to about 50 participants. And then I was a case manager working in an adult daycare center too.
Wow. Now, how did that transition to jewelry making?
Jewelry. I've always been the type of person, I used to be involved in dance from high school to all the way to college, from step team to Latin dance and all that stuff. And so I realized when I was younger that there was a creative aspect within me that needed to continuously be expressed. And so when I was working as a center manager in 2015, I was just like, man, I'm not even the type of person that fits within a figurative box to feel like I'm in a literal box being in the office. It just wasn't setting well with me. And I was making decent money, but I wanted to make more money. So I was like, I need a hustle. I need something that is going to make me money, but I need something that's going to allow me to be creative at the same time, and so I can have a balance. And so I've always loved jewelry. I would never walk out the house without jewelry on. And so I was like, let me start here. Let me just see what this turns into. And I ended up making some pieces that I really liked. I was like, I would actually wear this. I would actually buy this from somewhere. And that, it was still like a hobby at the beginning. But by the time, I'd say, I guess what changed it to make me see that it could be something more serious was like the live entertainment, the local live entertainment environment down there in Tampa. The live music in Tampa is awesome, but there, I had a ex-boyfriend there who would promote it then, and people would see. And then I had a friend who I also met through that environment named Kiera. She would push me to stay consistent and say, you're doing great. And she was the one that got me started on customized jewelry. She was like, she would send me a picture and like, you think you can make this? And I don't know.
Right.
But I tried, and so I would make the body chains. I made a really great body chain for the first time. I was really excited about it. And she trusted me to make all kinds of things for her, which really got me started. And then there was another, and that was just female stuff. I was still just doing females, and then there was another individual down there in Tampa who asked me to make a necklace for him, to make it customized, to make it what he wanted. And by the time I finished, she said, it really captivated what I really am. And I was like, oh, okay. And so that led me to making jewelry for men too, which I never would have thought, because I mean, the title of the business is Flaunt My Lady Jewelry.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so that's where that's how it transitioned from Pendleton to getting started and going further with it.
So basically, you had that arts in you already.
Yeah, I still do.
Right.
Yeah.
Dance, and it was just, and then you had that push from a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember your first sale?
Let's see, the official sale, because I had a website back then. I remember my first official sale. Yes, I do. It was like these small blue earrings, I remember, but it was a lot more. My designs were a lot more simpler back then. Those were simple, but they were pretty, and they were like sapphire color. But yeah, I remember that. But customized, I remember that as well. How did
that first sale make you feel?
I was like, okay, this feels really good. And then you think too, because when people know you, that they want to support you, but there's still that little doubt. Like, I wonder if they didn't know me, would they still buy this? And so there was that little doubt, but I was just really excited. Didn't really care about that as much.
How do you know how to price your jewelry?
That's been a transition over the years. I know definitely after doing it for 4 years now, I went up on my prices, because you got to first believe in yourself. You got to understand your quality and your value and bring that up. And so I really was doing a lot of research with jewelry designers who have been in the business for a while, and their suggestions on, there's a price calculator, so I do have a price calculator or an equation. And so what goes into the price is, of course, the materials, the time spent included to research it, to actually make it, packaging, overhead,
right.
Figure that out. And so all that goes into the pricing. And I didn't have that mindset in the beginning, but I definitely do now, especially after deciding I was going to take it more serious.
Anybody in your family had like a business background that kind of helped you along, or something you just had to learn along the way?
It was definitely something I had to learn along the way, and I'm still learning. I know my sister, she now has her own business, and she represents herself really well and does nutrition, Brittany Stowers. But she was learning it just like I was, and still is learning just like I am. But we're both open to learning from other people. But it wasn't really anybody who had that background, that knowledge initially.
So it's basically like you guys meant to do this because you really didn't have anybody to look at that had their own business, maybe?
Yeah.
In the family?
Well, ask the question again.
Well, like sometimes when people establish business, there's somebody that was in the family or a friend that had a business that it was in the back of your head the whole time. Then somewhere along the way you decide, okay, I'm going to start a business, but someone in your past had something established that kind of, put it in your head. Did you have anything like that?
No. And so it really, and I think about it even today, the fact that me and my sister and even my cousin, she does personal training, has her own business now. And so we were really close when we were younger, but the fact that we're all doing that now, it's interesting because we never talked about that stuff when we were younger, but as we got older, we realized that there were things that we were really good at, things we wanted to do, and we didn't. The ultimate goal is not to work for anybody else, it's to work for ourselves. So it's interesting how that came out because we really didn't have anybody like that.
Now, me knowing you, do you consider yourself introvert or extrovert?
I am an introvert. I'm a natural introvert. But through work experience, through the different jobs that I've had, I've learned to be an extrovert and to be a people person. And I mean, naturally, I have a lot of energy too, but I've never been one to be in big crowds and be around a lot of people. And I'm the person, the signs of a true introvert. When I'm around a lot of people, I need my alone time afterwards to recuperate from all the energy.
You on your social media, you post a lot of self-inspiring, motivational posts. And are you posting that for yourself or to speak to empowering other women? How do you view your posts? Because people will follow you and they will see the things that you post. And I got from it that it's empowering women or self-empowering. Why do you post the items you do post?
Definitely self-empowerment for all people, really. Because I know it's really important just to stay inspired in life with all the things that come and go. It's so important to always find that motivation either for yourself or it's important to have that motivation for other people. And so I love inspiration and inspiring, but I love the creativity, so I figured it's a great way to put those two together. But definitely, of course, inspiration for women, but inspiration for everybody. I love to help people see the greatness and the good that they have, even if they don't believe in themselves. I've always been that way, helping people to see, or helping people to get to their better self.
It's one post that I'm trying to see says, sometimes I pretend to be normal, but it gets boring, so I go back to being me. What does that mean?
Oh, man. It means I am a lot more interesting than conformity is what that means.
Really?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I guess when I was younger, even into like my early 20s, I'm 30 this year.
30?
30, yes. Wow. And so I struggled. Well, then it was just things that you were taught to not create any drama, not to go against these things, and which I mean ultimately leads to you conforming and being like other people. And then as you start to get older and you start to reflect on who am I really. And then that's when you're like, okay, I ain't nothing like, I'm not nothing like a lot of people, and I am different. And then when you start to appreciate how different you are, it's like, okay, I'm just going to be me because I appreciate this and I like who I am. So that's really what that has.
Well, see, a lot of people who have businesses or does music, they tend to be weird. Or they say we are weird because we're not like everybody else. Sometimes standoffish, sometimes just don't fit into different crowds. And have you always noticed that I'm a little different always, or is it something that you come to realize once you started, getting on your path in college and school?
I don't know if I've always known it or even just reflected on it. I've never been the type of person to follow the crowd, like even in high school. And sometimes I'm just stubborn too. But being in high school and people buy the same stuff. If this is a trend, they're gonna go get this. I always went the opposite way on purpose. I was like, I'm not about to copy these people. If there was a TV show that people were watching, I wouldn't watch it until the next season.
Right.
Because I didn't want to follow people, and so then growing up and getting into the Latin dancing and stuff. Obviously, I knew that made me a little different, but what I realized is I love culture and I love learning about different people, and that's what led me towards that path, which made me fall in love with all kinds of different music and stuff like that.
Now, do you have somewhere on social media where you're dancing? Oh, yeah, we're going to find out. What?
There probably are some things on YouTube, yeah, like some African dance. And there was a Sanko Salsa Cultural Dance Studios was in Clemson after I graduated from Berea in 2011. It's not there anymore, but I believe she still dances, Miss Rishari Sanko. But she taught me, she was the person who taught me how to dance when I was a senior in high school, and I fell in love with it from then. And so I started I started dancing from there, and it just progressed into college, and I've always loved to do choreography with either the step team or the dance team. It was always something that I love to do. It's another form of creation and
Right.
art. Yeah.
And I think, and you travel too, right? You like traveling.
I do.
All right. Do you think like the art, the travel, all of that is shown in the way you design your jewelry?
I think so, yeah. It depends. Some things, yes. Anywhere I go, even if it's local, but anywhere I go, because my family, they love going on cruises, and so
Okay.
and that's one of the things I always buy when I go. So I buy jewelry from no matter where I go, because I'm always looking for it, getting inspiration from there. But definitely taking that, and I'm always observing what people have on. Even though I might look like I'm staring for other reasons, I'm observing people's style, people's jewelry, men and women, children too, to see what's going on and getting inspiration constantly.
How important is self-love?
Very important. Very, very important. And that's actually something I would want to, as Flaunt My Lady name gets bigger and bigger, it's something that I would want to use as a platform for teaching self-love. And I think I've always I've always had the thought process that there are things about me that I appreciate, but still having those doubts, and I would have lack of confidence that as I've gotten older just held me back from a lot of different things. And I can see how that can be the same way for people today. And so as I got into my 20s, especially my middle 20s, and I started to reflect on the good and the bad about myself, and realizing that there are things that I want to change, but that doesn't mean that I can't still love myself for all the other things and the total of who I am. I would love to use Flaunt My Lady as a platform to help. And it's not just kids, like it's adults too who lack self-love, who lack confidence and all of that, just to be able to use that to create a program or something like that to help people believe in or see how great they are and how important it is to love themselves first before even they're loving other people, because even when they're not loving themselves, they're still not at their fullest potential to help those that they do love.
Right.
But it's very, very important. I've come to learn that as I've gotten older.
If you had an opportunity, what is one thing you would change about the world?
Change about the world.
Or even just in your own society, right here in this nation?
I would want to change the belief that one person can make a difference, I guess. Because thinking about communities, whether it's Black or other communities of minority communities or whoever, is that for the people, and I had this conversation with a coworker, we were talking about this, that there are some people who are meant for leadership, who are meant to change the mindset of people, but if they don't believe that they can make a difference, they're not going to do anything. And so even, it might not just be them by themselves, but they can be the person that takes that first step to get other people to believe that change can happen, but we have to work together. But it's those people, it'll be key people who can make a change if they work together. But since they don't believe that they can do something, they just don't.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So how can people get your product?
They can get my product. We were talking about all kinds of things. I forgot about this.
That's what we do on the Fan Club Project. We get deep.
But you can get my product. I do have a website, www.flauntmyladyjewelry.com. And you can also, on the website, there is an option for a custom request form. So if you have customized requests, you can get it off there. I do attend vendor events as well. So I usually try to let people know when I'm going to be somewhere. That is an opportunity, but you can reach out to me on Instagram to it's www.instagram.com/flaunt_my-lady, and then Facebook as well at Flaunt My Lady Jewelry. You can find me on there. You can always contact me those ways, and we can discuss that as well.
And we're going to put that in the links. One thing I wanted, what all do you make? Can you Because I know you make earrings.
Yes, I make earrings. Have some earrings on that I've made. I've made bracelets. I've made waist beads, which I call unique beads. But I have waist beads as well. And I have necklaces. I make jewelry sets. I've made the bracelet ring combinations. I plan on making some rings soon. I've made body chains and chest pieces that are like right here. I've made a lot of different things, and a lot of the newer things come from those customized requests. The customized requests get me to explore all kinds of things that I've never thought about before, which is why I love doing that stuff.
Great. Well, I want you to think about us as you get bigger and come back later on, because we're going to be here too. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the Fan Club Project podcast, and we're going to have you back in 5 years.
All right.
Thank you so much.